Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our annual athletic signing day. My name is Brett Alcantara. I'm the assistant to the athletic director. Thank you for joining us as we recognize our six outstanding athletes here. They are going to take their athletic careers to the collegiate level, which not many high school athletes get to do. So first off, congratulations to each and every single one of them. This is a big accomplishment, and the Byram Hills community is very, very proud of you. I have a few thank yous to get through, and there's a lot of them because without this team, this event doesn't happen. So Ms. Medrano and Mr. Melso, thank you very much. Mr. Pollux, our Director of Fine Arts, Mr. Nass, Ms. Croak, Mr. Allen, our MC, Mr. Castagna, Director of Athletics, and the Bobcat Boosters who provided the gifts for these athletes. And finally, I'd like to thank our Superintendent, Dr. Lamia, and the Board of Education for their continued support in allowing our students to have so many opportunities. If there are any underclassmen in attendance that are interested in being recruited or getting recruited after the ceremony, please see me. I have a book here which we offer to all of our students that are interested in playing college athletics. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Coach Allen.
As echoed before, I just want to say thank you for all of you for attending. I see a lot of the athletes here today. Really impressive effort for you guys to come out here, take some time off of practice, and celebrate these six incredible athletes. Usually, the stories that I use to kind of kick this off, if you've been here, usually focus around some sort of animal. Lions and deer, for some reason, are usually prevalent for me. But this year, we're going to keep it real. We're going to talk about red dragons and a pirate. Over the past weekend, if you guys have been paying attention, there was two really incredible sports stories that brought me to tears of joy. Sports, I guess, has that effect. I think it has effect on all of us. For me personally, watching the movie Rudy when he gets into college was a tearjerker. Anyway, the first story involves the Wrexham Red Dragons of Wales. Do we all know this story? It's great. I see a lot of nodding heads. Some of you might be familiar with it. This is the oldest soccer team in Wales. They date back to 1864, and they were recently purchased by Hollywood superstars Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Perhaps a bit of a stunt at first, perhaps to satisfy a whim of a childhood dream to purchase a team. They shelled out $2.5 million to buy the squad. The team fell on hard times. They slipped into the lowest division of professional soccer, and while playing in a dilapidated stadium, as the previous owner made a lot of changes, or tried to make changes that never came to fruition. They struggled to fight into the premiership, and recently in a documentary titled Welcome to Wrexham, the audience gets a sneak peek into the last 14 years through interviews with the fans and the outer community. You learn immediately that this soccer team is more than just a sport. It's a way of life. It's literally the lifeblood of this middle-class city. And it's awesome to see how with every win, there is catharsis, but with every loss, there's wrenching pain. This past Saturday, they had the opportunity to secure a promotion into that league. And 45 seconds into the game, there's an immediate heartbreak with a goal scored against them. Yet with heart and passion and determination, they tied the score heading into half, and with 20 minutes left, their star player, Paul Mullen, netted not only the winner, but the ice cap on top to capture the game 3-1. Over the next 20 minutes, it was pure pandemonium, storming the field, singing songs, chanting, hugging, everything. For Rob and Ryan, one could see a sense of release as their financial investment became an emotional one. It was a really great scene. A second story on the same day involves a baseball player. His name was Drew Maggi. He plays for the Pirates, a team that I know Mr. Schulman would be a big fan of now that he hears me mention it. 33-year-old journeyman, drafted back in 2011. He played 1,100 games in the minor leagues, never got called up. He played for 6 teams, competed in the Dominican League and the Mexican League and Japanese League, committing his life and passion to the sport. And over the weekend, despite struggling, this season, he was selected to join the Professional Ball Club in Pittsburgh. And his locker was put next to Andrew McCutcheon, literally Mr. Pirate himself. His call up to the majors was captured on video, and his manager chose to surprise him with an announcement in front of his teammates. If you get a chance to watch it, it'll bring you to tears. Two stories, one common thread between them: perseverance. Always run through walls as a competitor and bring your best to the table. Take no time off and continue to work. Amazingly, both Mullen and Maggi cited their coaches and their teammates, but most importantly, they cited the need to practice, to get bigger, to get stronger, to get better. They both cited the training grounds in their speeches to the media. The idea that the more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. And I love that idea. Love the line, if you think practice is boring, try sitting on the bench. With that said, there's a common thread amongst the 6 student athletes here, similar to the Red Dragons and the Pirates. It's about grit and determination and the love of sport. It's about the ability to train and train when no one else is watching. Now, besides being a Bobcat, it's the common thread amongst the 6 of you. You have one thing in common. Unlike many others, you get to continue your journey. Every young athlete in this room at some point has aspired to continue playing their respective sport at the next level. It's the dream to compete and to continue to compete against the best in the world. There are 8 million students who participate in high school athletics across the nation, and yet 7% compete at the next level. And you 6 represent that group. So congratulations to you. Round of applause for the 6 athletes. So today we're kind of doing something special. National Letter of Intent Day here at Byram Hills. These are the letters that represent the elite of the elite. And hopefully one day you could write your own chapter like Paul Mullen did and Drew Maggi did. Before we introduce the players, we do have to, Mr. Alcantara introduced a few people and said thank you, but first person we really should be saying thank you to is Brett himself. So, Mr. Alcantara, thank you very much for putting this together. Without question, the unsung hero of the athletic department. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to call out the individuals who are represented up here at the dais. I'm going to read something about them, and then we are going to pretend that we're doing a news conference. As you guys might have to anticipate going forward, a reporter might come to you and ask you questions. So your first sets of questions are going to come from me. You're each going to get 3 questions. Ladies and gentlemen, they do not know all the questions they're going to be asked. The only question they know is the first one, except for Gavin, who refused to learn any of the questions. So we'll see how he does this afternoon. All right. Are we ready to go? Okay. Our first athlete is Sean Siegel, committed to play lacrosse at the University of Richmond. Sean's tall, in case you haven't realized. As a sophomore, tall, lanky, little awkward, dare I say? Am I allowed to say that? Look at Sean now. Strong, intelligent, built, carries himself with a passionate confidence. Look at that face. Consummate student athlete, afforded a ton of respect by his peers, by his teachers, and by the administration. Now, it's very rare to have a 3-sport athlete with the amount of specialization that goes on these days, but he was an all-star on the football field, leading the Bobcats in 3 receiving categories: receptions, yards, and touchdowns. He was named Class B Wide Receiver of the Year, and in addition, he had 70 tackles, 3 sacks, and an interception on the defensive front. Coach Simon Burke says, quote, "He was completely versatile and able to stop the run and defend receivers in space. A complete professional." In basketball, he won the Coaches Award, was captain, was named to the All-League team. And yet we're here for lacrosse. He's made All-League 3 times, been captain twice, was part of the Low-HUD Elite 11, and on the watch list for All-American. And hopefully the journey of his season will continue with the playoffs coming up in the near future. He takes his talents to Richmond, Virginia, rather small school with only 4,000 plus students, yet in the top 15 in the national rankings for liberal arts. Ranked number 3 is the most beautiful campus in the nation, and I think it fits how studly and awesome you completely are. He will be playing for Coach Dan Chamati, who's the only lacrosse coach in their school's history who took over the program 11 years ago. They are currently 8-4, but they boast a 6-0 record at home, and they're a mainstay in the D1 tournament recently, and consistently play at the top of the Atlantic 10 Conference. So with that said, Sean, pull the microphone close. It is live. Your first question here is, what is the primary reason for choosing the University of Richmond, and what attracted you to the coaching staff there?
So I'm going to say that there were definitely a variety of reasons that me choose Richmond. I would say one of the biggest is the second I stepped into the locker room, the camaraderie amongst the team members. I could really envision myself being a part of the team, and they were all welcoming with open arms, and it felt like somewhere that I could call home for the next 4 years. And as you said about the coaches, Coach Shamati and Coach Richards, they've been there since the program started, and I think it really speaks dividends amongst how the culture has been built and how they really care and put something together like that.
Not bad. It's probably the best first answer we've had. No pressure on the rest of you. I feel bad for you at the end over there. I feel bad for you. All right, next year you're going to be limited most likely to one sport as opposed to three. With your experiences here in football and basketball, what do you think you'll miss most about playing those sports?
I think the biggest thing about playing 3 sports is that everything transfers to one another. So the stuff that I learned in football and basketball, it helped me in lacrosse and taught me more about the game. I'm gonna miss being able to play those other sports as I've been playing my entire life, but I think I'm not gonna be worried about being busy because we're gonna have everything throughout the fall, and it's gonna be a grind, so I'm super excited about that.
Excellent. And if you were given any ability to choose any superpower, what would it be and why? Notice how quickly that came out. I gave you no opportunity to prepare for that. Yeah.
I would say telekinesis, because so you can move things with your brain, so it's pretty much super strength, super speed, and everything in one.
Not bad. Not bad. That's well done. Next athlete to recognize is Gavin Jvorski. He will be signing his letter of intent today to attend Colgate University. For those who don't know, just recently, Gavin just captured the Con Edison Scholar Athlete Award of the week. His resume speaks for itself. In football, he was all-conference, all-section, all-state, member of the Golden Dozen team. This past season, he had a 90-yard touchdown in rushing, a 90-yard touchdown in receiving, and a kick return of over 90 yards. On the lacrosse field last year, he had 35 goals, 15 assists. This year, 13 goals and 12 assists in an incomplete season. He's been on the varsity team for 5 years and made all-section and all-league as a junior. More importantly, he carries a 4.3 grade point average, 5 AP courses, and even had the time to open up a local business in town with his sister Ella. He's part of Nu Alpha Theta, plays percussion in the band, volunteers for the athletic council. He was chosen as a mentor to guide freshmen through the first 2 quarters of the year. His mentor teacher can be quoted as saying, "Gavin's an incredible role model for kids. He carries himself with passion and intensity, yet understands empathy and compassion. He's one of those students who simply just gets it." Coach Locker backs it up when he says he has a fiery, competitive edge with a gentle approach. Lastly, on the athletic front, it's very important. He was captain, leader of the 2022-23 Allen Yogi Ball squad.
Yeah, Wes.
It's Wes right up there. And Kahoot Cup champions. That's right, the Mentor Double Championship. He takes his talents to Colgate. The Raiders play in the Patriot League, which crosses over to play a lot of games against Ivy League competition, and even has a history of playing the A-10. Be very interesting to see the Raiders versus the Spiders next year. See you two boys play against each other. There he played for match coach Carwick, who played Major League Lacrosse himself for the Chicago Machine. Unfortunately, though, the Raiders have struggled this season trying to win close games. They are 1-9, yet 5 of those losses are within 2 goals, most recently with a loss to number 7 in the nation, Army. So your first question, you're walking into a locker room, hasn't as much success in the field record-wise, young team. What qualities do you bring to the locker room, and what can the coach look forward to seeing from you in practice?
I know that they've definitely been struggling as of recently, but I think going up there next year, the good thing is, like you just said, they're a very young team. So I think what I can bring to the table is competitiveness in every second of practice, and I think that just pushes the older guys who are now going to be juniors, seniors, pushes them to be the best they possibly can to ultimately turn the program around in Hamilton, New York, and bring winning lacrosse to Colgate.
And, you know, perhaps your biggest highlight at BHHS hasn't happened yet in lacrosse, but to date, what would you say is your biggest individual highlight in any sport, and what is your biggest team highlight in any sport here at Byram Hills?
Individual highlights, I would think I think winning all section in both lacrosse and football respectively is a very big achievement, and I take that very seriously, and to be recognized by coaches and athletes all around the section, all around the area is a very big accomplishment. I think as a team, I've played in several section championship appearances, 7 games. I think it was like 5 games. Unfortunately, haven't come out victorious in any of those, but we have been competitive, and to make it all the way there numerous times has been very, very accomplishing for myself. And I think this team, we're going to do it this year. We're going to win that section championship in this final season that I have at Byram Hills.
Okay. And your third question, if they made a movie about your life, what would the title be, and which actor would play you?
You know, I think this is a very tough question to ask me, because if you ask my friends and my family, I'm not a big movie guy. So I don't know if I can give you an actor. Maybe I'll say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay.
But a movie title, I think you could just call it like The Roller Coaster.
Okay.
Because, you know, my life's been there's been a lot of things that came in the way with COVID and all different sports. I think you could call it a roller coaster.
Okay. Pretty intelligent. Let's give it up for Gavin. Great job. Okay. Our third athlete is Anthony Cozza, who will be signing his letter of intent at Marymount University. Anthony is a two-sport athlete that turned to lacrosse to specialize as a long-stick midfielder for the Bobcats. This was a sport he had enjoyed since first grade. As he states, as a child, he just connected with the sport. However, one of his biggest talents that many people don't know is that he is a world-class pizza dough throwing champion. How do you feel about that?
I don't know who told you that.
Yes. So let's move on. Statistically, Anthony's resume may not have a ton of goals and assists because of the position he plays in the field. However, as I say that, he scored yesterday against Carmel in a Bobcat victory. The big element about Anthony is he's willing to sacrifice for the team. Trained mostly as a long stick midfielder, Coach Locker and the team asked him to transition to a different spot. In essence, to move to a short stick. In this version of lacrosse speak that Gavin tried to explain to me, it pretty much means that he was a multi-purpose player who sacrificed for the betterment of the squad. He plans on continuing his career at Marymount University in Arlington, Virginia. Side note, that's a 100-mile trip, by the way, 90 miles away from Sean, in case you want to go visit. There he'll play for the Saints, who are 6-9 this year, yet boast a 29-0 victory against the college in a major defensive battle. Must have been fun. They have a 31-man roster, yet only 3 New Yorkers are on that roster. So you're clearly walking into new territory. So your first question, if you want to grab the microphone, is, what do you think your biggest challenge will be as you make a shift from Armonk to Arlington?
I don't think it'll really affect me in any way. I think it'll be an easy switch because I visited and it seemed like a very nice area to live in.
Excellent. And what attracted you the most to the Marymount campus?
When I went there, I saw that it was very well family with the lacrosse team, and I thought it'd be a great place to play.
Okay. All right. And the last question is, if you could have dinner with 3 people, any people in the world, alive or dead, who would they be and why?
My first pick would be Coach Locker.
He would be a very interesting guest at your dinner. I like that.
For my other two people, I'd say Jake Sharf. It's a great pick. And then,
Solid pick, yeah.
My third pick would be Coach Pitt.
Okay, 2 coaches and a player. Very good. You know, Coach Locker says he's the type of player who puts ahead of himself and has the pride in the heart and is completely undeniable. Just wanted to add that in. Round of applause for Anthony Cozza. Our fourth athlete, Colin McManus. We're playing lacrosse for Endicott College. According to Coach Simon Burke, Colin McManus embodies toughness on defense, relentless composure, and passion on the football field. High praise about a deceptively strong multi-sport athlete. This past season in football, he blocked a punt, scored the game-winning touchdown in the sectional semifinals, marking the final play in his final home game. In essence, he rises to the occasion on the field of sport, as he had 95 tackles this year and was named to the All-League team. In addition, Colin is a wrestler who competes at a high level, and this past year was named the BHHS Bobcat of the Season. He even highlights in his video an amazing victory at the Mayapack tournament where he was down 5 points in the final period, took down his opponent, and came back to win. True heart of a champion. Yet his main sport is lacrosse. It's his true passion, and he's currently a team captain. His coach states, he is every coach's dream, rarely comes along. He's the most coachable, humble, dedicated, and fiercest competitor. He is the player I would want all my young athletes to admire and look up to. So next year he goes off to play at Endicott College for the Gulls in Massachusetts. They play for the Commonwealth Coast Conference, strong D3 program that has made the NCAA tournament 8 times. He will play for Coach Eric Haggerty, who boasts a 48-5 record in conference and has captained the chip twice in the last 4 years. They're currently 11-4 and have won their last 8, and they'll be considered a top seed in their conference tournament. So if you want to grab the microphone, it seems that you're going to a well-established program. What qualities and intangibles do you plan on adding to the table, and what's your greatest strength on the lacrosse field?
The qualities that I'm going to bring to the table is hard work. I might not be the best person when I get there, but I'll be able to work hard and be able to get on the field.
Great. Now in wrestling, I'm a huge NCAA wrestling fan. I love the tournament. We spoke, I know that you've watched it. Is there a wrestler that you particularly like to watch? And is there a wrestler that you like and why?
The wrestler that I like the most is Spencer Lee. He won a national championship with 2 torn ACLs, 3-time national champion, and he just lost in the semifinals this year.
Iowa, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Lastly, what would you do if you could win a lifetime supply of any product? What product would you choose and why? Favorite food, perhaps?
I'd probably say a lifetime supply of New York pizza.
New York pizza, that works.
Because I'm going to be in Massachusetts, not good pizza.
Very nice. Could have the pizza tossed over here as well. Congratulations, Colin McManus. George Gelage will be attending SUNY Cortland to play football next year. Congratulations, George. Made the all-tournament team in basketball, scorer, rebounder. Coach Repa says, just a disruptor and a nuisance to deal with. I think the word beast comes up a few times. George apparently may have played football here. He made 124 tackles to lead the team, 7 sacks, 1 defensive touchdown, 1 forced fumble, was named to All-League, All-Section, All-State. Coach Burke gave me some other relevant information like captain, top player in the state, 2-time defensive lineman of the year, 2022 defensive player of the year, and he was also the fall Bobcat of the season. Coach Burke says the best quality is the standard that he holds himself to and his peers to, and he'll accept nothing but the best. But George, let's be fair, you know this is coming. Cortland State is awesome at football. 9-2 this past season, though a dreaded loss to Ithaca in Yankee Stadium. I know we're going to get revenge next year. Granted, they're one of the top football schools in the nation, usually at the top of the standings. And I get it, Coach Fitzpatrick wants you, but let's face it, volleyball is your sport, man. George is a
Right.
middle hitter for the volleyball co-ed team. I won't even ask you what his biggest disappointment is because I already know that's a 20 loss in the finals of that White Plains co-ed volleyball tournament. Now, I know you play Delaware Valley in September, but not for nothing, maybe Pepperdine volleyball in the future looking for a middle hitter. So question one for you is awkward here. Playing volleyball, I think, shows a lot of your versatility and your strength as an athlete. What draws you to the sport, and why do you love it so much?
What drew me to the sport of volleyball was Matt Allen.
Yes,
I heard he was the coach, and I just couldn't resist.
I love that.
Had to go.
I love that. Let's turn to football. What would you say is your greatest strength on the football field? And what do you think is something that you actually need to work on for next year?
My greatest strength on the football field is probably my first step coming off the line of scrimmage. It's a lot quicker than everybody else's. It's probably why I'm going to Cortland. I have to work on my lateral movement, definitely, if I
Okay.
want to succeed at the next level.
And what are you looking forward to the most being on a college campus outside of football?
It snows a lot in Cortland, upstate, like a lot. And honestly, like I'm a big sledding guy. So
Okay,
I can't wait to take a sled and just ride those hills.
okay, very nice. You know, a tradition is actually a cafeteria tray. They go traying down the hill.
We're gonna need a couple trays for me.
Yeah. If you had your own reality show, what would it be called and what would it be about?
You can't ask me what my favorite superpower is.
What's your favorite superpower? Is it telekinesis?
No, definitely not. Super speed.
Super speed. All right, let's give it up for George. And our last athlete to be recognized here is Justin Wagner, who's committed to play tennis at Johnson & Wales at the campus of Charlotte, North Carolina. Congratulations, Justin. Justin has played a pivotal role in the success of the Byram Hills tennis program. Even yesterday, the Bobcats took down the Mamaroneck Tigers, who are the defending large school state champions, with the help of a straight set victory from Justin. One could argue the highlight of his career came recently against Scarsdale when he managed to win a 10-7 tiebreak to secure the victory over a number one ranked team in New York State, and he's currently 5-0 this season for the Bobcats. Coach Racanelli states, "I can recall countless instances where after 3-hour practice and match that Justin would stay longer to keep hitting. Daylight was really the only thing that prevented him from practicing longer than he already does." He plans on taking his tennis talents to the next level, playing for Johnson & Wales. He will play for Coach Taylor Lindsay, converting from a Bobcat to a Wildcat. Apparently, in a pretty intense coach, Justin, I'm not sure you know this, but she actually works as a police officer for the local department in Charlotte. Don't ask me why I know this. She administers polygraph tests in criminal cases, so if you missed your first practice, tell the truth, my man. All right? Your first question. Why did you choose Johnson & Wales, and what do you anticipate will be the most challenging aspect of playing tennis there?
The first reason why I chose Johnson & Wales was, I would say because I had an opportunity to play tennis there, but also they have a really good sport management program. And I would say one of the most challenging things is that we play some really good other teams that are really difficult to beat.
Excellent. Well done. And your second question is, what was your favorite class here at Byram Hills? And if you could give a shout out to any of your teachers, who would they be and why? And be careful, you might have someone in the room as well. So what would be your favorite class and perhaps a teacher or two that you'd give a shout out to?
I would have to thank Miss Lewis. She helps me with a lot of things that I need. So I would have to say that would be my favorite class.
Excellent. That's very good. I think she's here too. She's probably videotaping that, and knowing her, she's probably crying. Final question. If you could have a conversation with yourself, okay, but it's your 5-year-old self, yourself as a child, what advice would you have given yourself? What would you say to your 5-year-old you?
Work as hard as possible all the time and not give up, like, even if you have, like challenges, injuries, anything like that.
Okay, well done. Round of applause for Justin. Okay, you guys handled yourself really well. Congratulations to the 6 of you. At this point in time, we're going to ask if any parents want to come up. We're going to have the athletes sign at the same time if your parents want to take photos of the actual signature, and then we'll ask the parents to step behind them. And Harry Malice, thank you very much. We'll take pictures as well. So, gentlemen, do not lift the pens yet. If anyone needs to take a picture, come up.